Well, folks, we're going to be getting back on a project that's been getting put off for a little while now. As some of you remember, back in the beginning of this year, I ended up pulling the engine out of the Ariens S16 tractor, and I was going to be getting that rebuilt. And as you can see here, sitting on the bucket, it's finally all back together again. It's been bored to 20 over. It has a brand new rebuild kit in it, has a 10 under rod, along with brand new valves all lapped in and everything and ready to go. So we're going to be getting this tractor back up to par again, running and driving as it should be. And the plan, as I think I mentioned before, is I'm going to be making a small tow truck out of this off the 3-point hitch to pull the dead garden tractors around here, so that way I don't have to keep using the strap and a clevis pin behind another tractor. Makes it a lot easier to move stuff around by myself, and I don't need two people, so it'll help me out a lot with work around here. But anyways, we're going to get this 16 horse Kohler up onto the bench, get it all clamped down, set up my test tank and everything else, and an exhaust, and we're going to do the break-in run because I haven't run this yet since I rebuilt it. Help if I hooked up the ignition.
Yeah, that would help, huh?
Kohler runs nice after the rebuild, no smoke or anything like that, so I'm going to let it sit here and idle for a while longer on the bench, just help break it in. Right now I'm going to go get the big 4-wheel drive and we're going to head over into the woods behind the compost and get the Ariens pulled out, bring it down here, finish power washing the engine bay of it out, and then get it back up onto the lift and we get started in on it. Got the Ariens up on the lift. So I was looking it over and there's still a pretty fair amount of stuff that has to get done to it. First things first is I'm going to end up getting this hood and grill setup pulled off. That way we can put the engine in. It'll be a little easier because it was kind of tough getting it out with all this still on here. We're also going to have to take a look at the steering box because there's a pretty fair amount of play left in it. I know the gas tank's going to have to get drained out and dried because there's water in it, because I just tried draining a little bit of gas out of it. The transmission's going to have to get looked at mount-wise. The previous owner had rigged up these brackets on here because he was having problems with this thing moving around. Well, it turns out that the two bolts here and here that hold the transmission to the frame are loose, so that's why he was having issues with that. And then just give everything else a general going through all the linkages, the wiring, front end, rear end, all that good stuff. So anyways, we're going to get started in on this, pulling this hood and grill off, and we can go from there. So I went ahead and did a whole bunch of stuff. I'm probably going to be cutting this repair video short just to kind of keep it condensed, and then we can focus more on when it comes to fabbing up the hitch on the back of this So I ended up getting the engine put back in here. All the fuel line and everything's plumbed. Everything's rewired. The drive shaft is back in. I still have to get a fan for it, so I'm going to have to look around online and see what I can find. I have a couple fans here, but the fins go the wrong direction. They'd be pulling the air this way versus blowing it onto the pump, which it should be. Steering is squared away. I got that tightened up. Most of the wiring is okay for the time being. Everything else has just been getting a once over. The gas tank was drained and dried. I got the bolts in the rear end replaced on the mounts on either side right there, and you can see the original bolts here were pretty worn out. Not so much this one, but some of the other ones were eaten out pretty good from the rear end knocking back and forth for all those years. So that's all nice and snug now. So I'm just going to be getting the fenders back on here. I got to get the hood remounted and figure out an exhaust. For the time being, I'm probably going to put a stack on this. I have to look around and see if I can find the exhaust that I put on my other Ariens. I think it was a Walker muffler. I just have to find the name of the numbers for it, at least, and then I'll have the muffler that sits inside here like so, and that'll clean it up real nice. So. And we're all back together here. I got the hood and the grill on, along with the rear fender pan. As for the exhaust, I ended up just doing a straight pipe for the time being because I don't have another 1.5 inch elbow to come up for a stack, and I don't feel like running out right now to the store. So I just have a straight pipe, and I gotta look around for a muffler later on. I don't know if I'm gonna get prime from the fuel tank because we're sitting a little bit low, so I'm hoping everything catches. If not, we'll have to hit it with the air compressor and give it a little help. But aside from that, we're all ready to fire up. So there it is, folks. That's going to be all for the Ariens revamp. I wish I could have done more of a repair video, but with time and stuff and the workload that I have right now, I really didn't have the time to do it. But like I said, hopefully if everything goes well, we'll be having some videos coming up on welding up the hitch on the back of this thing, and we'll see if we can come up with a good design for moving around tractors. But go to order a few more parts for this, muffler, gas cap, and some other small stuff, and then this will be ready to go. So there you have it, folks.